Hi guys, welcome to Ritz Wonder. I'm Ritu and today I'll be sharing you total 9 points which you can get best out of any books. So how does that come from? Like when I started reading a book, I thought of having this like is there any way from which I can get the best or everything whatever I read in that particular book. So yeah, I came across the 9 points and which I got from this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. There are total 9 points and which I'll be sharing with you today. So let's get started. So the first point, the very first point is the desire or the determination that you should have before reading any book, that why you want to read that book. That is the most important thing. Like when I was studying this book, so I came across that why should I read this book. So it's very important to know that if I want to improve my communication skills or I want to talk to people the way I should, so that is the most important thing you should keep in mind, the desire and the determination that you should have for reading this book or any book. So the second point, the very important point is reading without rush. So you should not get rushed while reading. So as everyone does that, if anyone starts reading the book, they just go on and on and on, chapter by chapter by chapter. So that is not the way to get the best out of the book that you are reading. What you should do is you should read without any rush. Without any rush, I mean, if you finish a chapter, you should just see in a very broad way, in like a bird's eye view, that you just go through the chapter and then you read line by line and by line. And after, when you move to the second chapter or the next chapter, the next context of the book, you should be rereading the first chapter that you have been reading. Yeah, that is the most important thing. अगर आप दोबारा उसे नहीं पढ़ोगे तो वो आपके माइंड में कंप्लीटली नहीं आएगी, तो आपको उससे जितनी बेनिफिट होनी थी उतनी बेनिफिट नहीं होगी. सो दिस इज द सेकेंड थिंग यू शुड कीप इन माइंड, दैट reread the chapter to get the most out of it. Don't read just once and move on to the next. Yeah, this was the most important, the second point. So the third point is stop and think. Yeah, this what I name it as stop and think. So when you finish a chapter or even while you're reading the chapter, just stop in everywhere and just think where you can apply those points. You have to, like, it's a sentence written in this, and then you have to think that I am in this situation, whether I can apply this or not. Yeah, the best way is to think that where you can apply this. Yeah, that is what stop and thinks teach you. Yeah, so this is the third point. Next comes the fourth, and this is my personal favorite point, like marking and underscoring every point. And suppose you are reading some chapter, suppose you started the reading the book, and then if you find any important line, then definitely mark it, whether it is a marker, pen, pencil, sticky notes, whatever you like. I do mark my books like this. I do love it. And if you find anything writing inside it, then also it is very good idea, because once you get back to it, you can easily see what you have marked and the important points, so that you can get more and more in a very much of the less time, and you did not have to read the whole book again and again. So that was the fourth point, artistic and creativity. One thing that you can also do, which is also suggested in books, is like giving the stars. Yeah, stars. Stars mean basically here is, if you are having a very important line which you never want to miss the whole of your life, or you want to keep it as like, yeah, this is the suggestion I have always wanted, then what you should do is just give more stars to that particular point, say 4 stars. And if there is something which you want, just, yeah, I should remember it and I should not, like, it's not that important, you should give it a 1 star or 2 star, and you can divide your whole book in such a category, which ultimately helps you to review your books. So the fifth point is spending few hours every month. Once you finish the book, then you should come to the book and keep on reviewing it every month. Like, we know that the way we forget is very astonishing. We forget everything very quickly. So once we'll have been reviewing everything what we have read in that book, it will be very helpful, as we have seen that we have marked already in a creative way, so that review your book. Yeah, and it's being a habitual basically. Yeah, you are developing a habit, so it should take a little bit of time to develop it. So you should keep on reviewing your book every now and then the time you get. And the sixth point is learning by doing. Yeah, Bernard Shaw once said, if you teach someone, he will never learn. What does he mean by that? We keep on learning by doing by ourselves, as learning is a very active process. Yeah, so once you start learning by doing, means if you start applying that concepts or that suggestions, whatever it is written in that, if you apply those suggestions, you learn very quickly. Whatever mistakes you did, whatever application that you made, whether it is right or wrong, you find it very easy to apply to any of the things, and you learn it very quickly. Also, you know that it is well said that the only knowledge that is used sticks to your mind. Whatever you read, that may be happening that you might forget, but whatever you do, that keeps on stuck to your mind. And also there is one thing that I want to share with you, that there are many things that you won't be able to apply whatever you studied or something, but you are attempting to form new habits. So keep in mind and just keep on doing. Yes. Surviving with loss. Suppose you think of a suggestion, then a situation you won't be able to apply, and you recognize that I should apply this suggestion to that situation, but you aren't. So what you can do is you can just give you can fix your own amount or a money or dollar or whatever, so that you can give it to your either spouse or your friends or your children or whomever you think that you should. So whenever you does a mistake, it's keep on your mind that you have to give a loss, and you are surviving with a loss. Mistake again and again. So the eighth point is the talk to yourself point. This is the one of the most important point, and everyone suggests this point, that talking with yourself helps to improve in a much broader way than talking to someone else about your problems. Yeah, it has been seen of the times that not even highly educated and qualified people do so well in their field, and the reason is pretty simple, that they talk to themselves about the problems they are facing. The questions you may ask to yourself are, what mistakes did I make at that time or while applying that or whatever, or what can I do, or if you did something right, then what can you do to improve it much more better way, or how can you improve your performance. And also you can ask, like, what lessons can I learn from that experience. Means if you are having an experience and you are going from that experience, then you may ask that what can I do to improve it more and more and more. Yeah, you may found your review in the first week or in the second week very disappointing yourself, that I did so many mistakes at the time. But once you start self-educating yourself, or self-analysis is a process which can be continued to a lifelong basis, and after you continue this continuously for a year or so, then you will find that yes, these are the most important things you were ever doing, and it will help you improve a lot, and you can see the change in yourself too. The ninth and the last point is, I say, recording your triumphs. Yeah, whatever you study, you have been seeing a lot of times that many of the books have blank pages in the back. Like you can see, this book have blank pages, written notes in it. Yeah, this is the most important thing I felt about any books. So if you see that if any book don't have blank pages, either you can stick, or you can have a separate, a very small thin notepad type thing for that particular book, so that in which you can write. Now the thing is what you have to write in that. Yes, this is the most important thing. Suppose you have read a suggestion and you remember a name, place, and the situation where you have applied that suggestion, so you can note it down. what happens for noting is that when you start noting it down, then when you come back after few years or so and sit in an evening and reviewing your book, and when you read all these points where you have applied that much years ago, you feel so much happiness inside yourself. It's cannot be counted. Yeah, it cannot be counted at all. So the greater efforts that you have made at that time will bring happiness for you for any of the time in the life that you have been seeing. So be specific with the writing, whatever you are writing, as you are going to read this in your future times. So these were the 9 points that I wanted to share with you. I hope you really like this. And if you like this, then give it a thumbs up, do subscribe to my channel, share with your friends and families and to whomever you want that they should get something from reading the books and all. Thank you.